Hi, my loves. It's Jeray, my little girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to y'all with some commentary about popular streamer Playboy Maxx and most recent Love Island contestant Ace Green, and him ending a Twitch live early. Now, before I hop into my commentary, I want to give you the opportunity to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, heart the video, thumbs up, whatever the case, so we can kind of get this video hyped and we can get into the things. If you like this type of commentary, please stick around, like the video, hype the video, okay, period. We talk about popular culture, popular topics in a way that helps us reshape and reframe our paradigm so that we can live the life that we deserve, period, and a point blank. Now, Ace Green, I want to say, is a little controversial, not because of who his, what his media personality was prior to Love Island, but I think that, once the season ended, he kind of threw a couple of curveballs to his cousin friend, Olandria and Nicholas and everything like this. So people kind of have a mixed review of Ace in general. I'm kind of neutral on Ace because I feel like a broke clock is right twice a day, and also to I don't know enough about him, right? I didn't watch the season in totality. I like how he treats Shelly, but I don't know a lot about him. So I he's been on my radar, but in this instance, he's invited on a stream with Playboy Maxx, who's a famous Twitch streamer, and things kind of go left. He makes some accusations, okay, about him. And Ace gets up and ends the live. Now, I'm going to play the video here somewhere. But before I do, I wanted to say that a lot of the viewers were like, oh, he's being soft. What's going on with him? He's corny light skin from LA type of thing. And I'm like, well, no, if that man told him multiple times to stop playing with me and he didn't stop playing with him, that's enough. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I wanted to get into some of the things that was happening during the course of the live. Now, he was asking him inappropriate questions. He was, very adamant, and kind of saying the inappropriate thing. And then this is my first time looking at a stream for real. Ace is 23 years old. The other boy, Playboy Maxx, is about 22 years old. So they're within the same realm. Ace, before Love Island, was going onto TikTok, making dancing videos and everything like this. His brand in general is a little different than, I want to say, the Twitchers and the streamers. But there is this undercurrent of I don't know, just different energy with the Playboy Maxx. I watched some of the live, so you didn't have to, thank God, just to kind of get an overall sense of what was going on, because sometimes we do see the whole fragile masculinity thing, right? People have accused him of having the Napoleon complex. People have accused him of being, a snake, for kind of saying that Olandria and Nick aren't in love in the way that they say that they are. So I wanted to just be clear in is he really just what is he really giving? Now, in one of the instances that I saw, that was a highlight, he was kind of let me see your best catwalk, let me see your best runway walk, and they're walking, they putting on the Vogue music and this, that, and the third. Now, what I didn't know is that Ace is from LA, right? So he's from LA. LA is a different culture, it's a different lifestyle. Now, he doesn't seem to be no gangster, but Ace don't give Buster either. You feel what I'm saying? So he's from off rip, he was wearing a Luigi hat. They were dressing up his costumes because I guess the thing was they look so much alike. He took off his Luigi hat immediately and was like, man, I'm from LA at the end of the day. Let me put on my LA green hat. That's kind of setting the tone on how he wished to be treated. And also, too, I think that Ace understands and recognizes he is with a woman who has a certain standard. And I'm not about to let none of you little teeny boppers. Now, again, they're in the same age range, but Ace, he gives it up like he's a little bit more mature, right? I wouldn't put him in a category of a Twitch or a streamer. You know what I mean? It just seems and it feels a little different, even though he is younger. Well, anyway, let's check out this video really quickly, just to kind of give you an idea of the things that Playboy Maxx was saying to him.
How big's your See, this is what I'm saying. Now look, bro, I was dead just trying to see how much we twins, bro. Yo, nigga, bro, what is you doing? Bro, I was trying to see how. What is you doing? Bro, I was trying to see how much twins we was, gang.
Bro, that not even funny.
I'm not asking that no more. I'm done. I'll just take a guess. But, gang, chill. No more questions.
And I wanted to say that this happened several times throughout the live where Playboy Maxx would say something that was inappropriate. Ace was obviously offended or uncomfortable even. And it was R gang. Like, you know what I mean? And I understood that there's a part of the appeal of making the chat feel excitable and, things are happening. But if a man were to ask a woman, how deep is your, and, she's like, bro, I feel uncomfortable with this. Like, we would see that clearly as some sort of like issue. You understand what I'm saying? And is it not the same when men do it to the same, like to each other? Like, you get what I'm saying? And we're living in a day and age where just because someone is presenting in a certain way doesn't mean that they don't have ulterior motives or, getting off on certain things. And, I think that these streamers kind of like, I don't know, like they kind of like do this a little bit. Do y'all get what I'm saying? And I actually found out like there's a lot of this kind of rhetoric of like that's happening in the streaming world and like playing into one thing, kind of like gay baiting, I guess. I don't know how to describe it because I don't have the language for it, so I'll wait and circle back until I do. But there was definitely some like, bro, I'm not playing with, I'm not doing that right now. And I think Ace is a man who understands that his brand is growing. He understands that like the stream could be very beneficial, but it also could be very detrimental to his brand. He like, bro, I'm not playing those games. And if somebody says, whatever, I'm going to keep going across this line, I'm going to keep going against your boundary, I'm going to keep doing this because I think it's funny, or I don't think you're that serious, or I don't think it's that deep. If it's that deep to you, then that's what it is. Okay. And that's what we need to kind of normalize and get to. People think, oh, well, he's just being like this. Oh, well, you know how Jeray is. You know how she know. I'm not going for that anymore, because if I say that this is a boundary, if I say don't do X and you continue to do X, I'm going to remove myself because you're not respecting how I feel. This is an unsafe space for me. He had every right. He was well within his right, emotionally mature, the way that he bowed out gracefully. All right, y'all. I'm going to see y'all later. See y'all next time. Whoop-de-whoop-de-boom. Okay, whoop-de-doo, bitch. And he got out of here. And I want us to take away from this that it doesn't matter what chat is going to say. It doesn't matter what them folks going to say. Stop letting people play in your face. If you say I'm uncomfortable with this and that continues to happen within reason and understanding, girl, you have absolutely every right to remove yourself from any circumstance where you feel uncomfortable. You really do. Stand on how you feel about things, okay? And respect how people feel. Also, in the reverse, if a person is telling you, hey, when you do this, this hurts me, and you continue to do it because you feel like, oh, well, it's not that deep to you. But if you want to be considered, you have to understand how, it may feel on the receiving end in both ways. You understand what I'm saying? This is very simple and very easy to understand. The fact that, people are like kind of having mixed feelings and mixed reviews is definitely given like, oh yeah, y'all just don't like him because it's something that happened on Love Island. Because again, if this was a woman, it would be no issue. Okay. And I wanted to find a clip. I don't know if I found it without the music, but essentially he was calling them, GAY, and that he likes to do something with lube. But he was like, bro, I'm out of here. As a matter of fact, I did. Let's play it here.
Ace was gay. He liked using lube. Huh? Hold on. Bring it back.
Chad, I just want to say I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for having me in here today. I don't let niggas play in my face all damn day. Man, it was a pleasure. Shout out to the gang, yo. Hey, I love y'all. I'm up out of here, yo. Shout out Scream, yo.
I'm on this nigga ass. Made him come back because my bars are so fucking good.
And that's how you do that, okay? That is how you do that, period, and a point blank. Nobody is going to stay around and allow for someone to play with them, disrespect them, not when you have so much on the line. Even if you didn't have those kind of things on the line, be very clear that you do not have to stay anywhere where you don't feel appreciated, where you don't feel respected. It doesn't matter if you're in front of one person, an audience, or a live full of hundreds of thousands of people. I think that we can learn something from this moment, and that's to always protect your own dignity, your own boundaries, regardless of who likes it. I like that. That's very self-aware for a 23-year-old. And I love to see that, okay? And I don't even want to say 23-year-old. I just want to say from a person in general, when society tries to shrink you and make you small and make you digestible, be bold enough to say, you know what, this don't fit me, my lifestyle, or where I'm going and where I'm headed. What do you think about this? Do you feel like he was overreacting? Do you watch these streams? What did you think about how he handled it? And do you think that the people are overreacting, okay? Drop down in the comments. I want to hear what you think about this. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light. I will see you in the next video. Peace.